Hey, what is up guys? I'm Kyle at Fortune Off-Road. Today we're looking at some interior upgrades for the Colorado. So we've had the Colorado for about 6 months now, probably put about 10,000 miles on it, which is a pretty good amount for such a short period of time, but it is my daily driver and we've been taking it on a bunch of trips around the state. So far, I really like this truck and there are very few things that I don't like about it, but there are some things that could use improvement. Let me show you what we're going to work on today. It's a bunch of little things, but I think it's going to make it a lot more comfortable to be driving this truck every day. So one of the things I noticed first when I got this Colorado was how much room is in this cab here. It's kind of hard to tell in video when you're in the truck, but there's actually a good amount of room in here. One place that there isn't a lot of room is right here in this front cubby, and then also right here in this cubby on the center console. For a cell phone, I'm using a Galaxy Note 10 Plus, so it's a very big phone, and it actually will fit right here inside this area, but with the USB charger plugged into the end of it, it's a little bit too big to fit, and it forces the charging cable to be kind of crimped up a little bit, and it's just kind of hard to like store it in there. On top of that, there's times when I need to see my phone and unlock it or get a certain app going so it works with the Android Auto, which by the way is freaking awesome. This is the first car I've had that has Android Auto and it just works flawlessly. I haven't had any issues with it, and with this screen I think it is just awesome. But having my cell phone screen mounted somewhere too would be really helpful, especially if it was close enough for me to, use it while I'm sitting in the driver's seat, and hopefully somewhere where I don't have to take my eyes off the road, and if I do, it's not for too long. The next thing that I'm working on is the floor mats. These are Amazon basic floor mats, so they're like the universal ones, and you can see they've got these lines here where you can take some scissors or a knife and you can cut it out to shape it to the shape of your floorboard. These ones actually fit pretty good. This is the passenger side, and there's not too much overlap. There isn't too much of them folding up, but when I go to the driver's one, you can see that this one is kind of folded up, and these are just kind of cheap, honestly. There's not a lot going on here as far as protection, although these are pretty deep. This is probably like a 1/4 inch wells here to collect anything that might get in there, but obviously this one gets really dirty, especially when I'm towing the Samurai or we're just out off-roading or camping or whatever. Tracking stuff in here kind of sucks because this is just carpet. I've got the stock carpet floor mat under here, and obviously you don't want to just trash this thing, and you can see, look, I've got some rocks and stuff that are already starting to slip by. So that's definitely one thing that I wanted to upgrade. Going to the back seat, pretty much the same thing. I don't have any floor mats back here. Those ones in the front were meant for the Samurai, but they're so big they couldn't even fit in the Samurai, so I ended up using the rear ones for the front of the Samurai. Well, I don't have any rears to go in here. One problem I have had with this is I've been leaving my CO2 tank back here, and I kind of just lay it right here. I leave it in the truck while I'm out on the trail. The problem is I left it laying in here for a while, just right here, and it's so heavy, it actually put a huge dent right here in the floorboard because, I don't even know what's under here, but this is a little bit flexible, and all of these add up to me wanting to get some new floor mats in here, and there's a ton of options to choose from, all different price levels, so that's something we're going to go in here in a minute. But first, let's check out the cell phone holder I got and why I got this one. Most of the cell phone holders kind of just clip on somewhere weird. Like I've had the ones before that go onto the vent right here, and obviously that's just kind of like a little friction hold. There's not really a lot holding that on, plus you can't turn the vent anymore. This truck doesn't have any vents that go to the back, so I end up using these two when my kid's back there, so you kind of lose the use of this vent, plus it can just come off. Other options are to use this tray up here, find a way to mount it in there. You can get the little sticky magnet that'll go on right here. You can have it hang from the windshield on a suction cup, kind of like how my GoPro is over here right now. These are all options that I've used in the past, and honestly the best one I've ever used was one that went in the cup holder, and as you screwed it in, it kind of widened out and held the phone. And you can get some of those ones that have like the long flexible part, and it just holds your phone right here, and that's really nice. The problem is I only have 2 cup holders up here, and that takes one of them. So definitely didn't want to use that. What I ended up figuring out is I want mine to be, somewhere in this area. just so I can not have to reach really far to get to it, and I don't have to have something blocking my view. And the solution I found was with a company called ProClip. They make all kinds of cool stuff that is really just a lot different than what everyone else is doing. They have a lot of cool mounting options for all kinds of stuff, and it's very specific. So it's usually a two-piece system that you get to mount your phone or your tablet or whatever you're putting in here. For the Colorado, they have two specific ones that I've seen. One of them mounts right here under the trim, kind of has your phone sitting like that. And then there's another one that hooks on the bezel right here and spans over to this side of the vent, and it looks like you can still use this. So that's the one I went with. Hopefully it'll put my phone like right here somewhere in this area and hopefully not block too much of my screen. Hopefully I can run a charging cable down right here into the USB so I can still use the Android Auto. So like I mentioned earlier, this is a two-piece kit. This is the part that actually mounts to the dash. Then to pair with that, you get an adjustable clip that is made for, you know, just your phone or a phone with similar dimensions. And it also depends on what thickness case you have with your phone to make sure it fits securely in there. One thing that sucks about that is it is a two-piece system, so that kind of drives the price up a little bit. But the cool thing about it is if you use this clip, but you upgrade your phone, you can get a new adjustable clip without replacing the whole system, which is awesome. I usually get a new phone every year to 2 years, so that could save us some money on the mounting. All right, so I'm gonna set the phone down. You guys can watch me install this. This isn't gonna be a how-to video, but it should be pretty easy install, so hopefully this video is enough to show you how to do it in your truck if you decide to use this same clip. Let's check it out. Wow, I am really impressed with how tight that is actually mounted on there. From my point of view, it's blocking the screen like maybe a 1/4 inch of that screen. So, all right, now we're to the adjustable holder part. All right, so now we need to drop our phone in here, and then we're gonna tighten the side arms onto the phone. Then we're gonna tighten the top and the bottom screws to keep that position. Place a screwdriver in the middle, unscrew the back, and then put the back plate here. Plenty of clearance between everything. All right, awesome. That was easy. So when it comes to the floor mats, there are a ton to choose from. Obviously, you're gonna wanna go with some that are designed for your vehicle. That way they fit the best, they look the best, and hopefully they trap the most stuff in them so you can just take them out and rinse them out. The two most popular ones I've found so far are the WeatherTech ones and the Husky liners. Looks like the Huskies actually go up a little bit higher, so a lot of people like them for that reason, but for some reason, I just cannot do the same thing as everybody else. I decided to try one of the lesser known brands. This one I found on Amazon. It is the cheaper of the three, but had really great reviews, so I decided to give it a shot. These are the Gator brand. You can see it's got this red and black tag here on the bottom. When I was ordering these, I didn't really know what to think of them as far as like the material they were gonna be made of. In my head, I was thinking they're probably just going to be something kind of rubbery and flimsy like the Amazon Basic ones I had. But these are actually a fairly hard plastic, and they're molded to fit the truck. So a little bit more rigid than I thought they were going to be, but I guess that means they're definitely going to be tougher, right? The material to me kind of reminds me of those plastic bed liners they can put in the back of the truck. It looks, and the texture, the flexibility, everything reminds me of those liners, except these are a little bit thinner, which is a good thing. As far as fitment goes, this one in the driver's seat, which I think is probably the most important one, this thing actually fits in here really well. I mean, there's a little tiny gap right here just because of this raised piece, but the rest of this is sitting pretty dang flat. Nice high ridge on this side, fair amount of carpet showing over here. And you know, really my only concern with this one is this part that's dirty right here that obviously my foot has missed and hit here. It's not covering that spot. It was actually kind of tight to get it up there behind that gas pedal, so maybe that's why they did it. So so far that's my only critique, is I kind of wish this whole side went a little bit higher and then maybe a little bit higher there, but they look good, they fit great. Let's check out the other ones. So the passenger side fits really well too. It's definitely not in there as tight as the driver one because it doesn't have those two snaps. It's kind of hard to move it around. It's barely moving at all. Same thing on this side. The lip is a little bit lower than I'd like. Overall, the fit's pretty good. I think they look good too. All right, now for the back side. This is the place I was telling you it worried me the most about, you know, carrying cargo down here. I don't have this seat folded up very often. When I do, and I have that tank back here, my biggest concern was this spot right here. You can see where that tank handle kind of rubbed on this plastic a little bit too. This spot is definitely covered well, although there is a little bit of a gap around the center console here where you can see that carpet. So that's pretty much it, guys. Nothing crazy. When you first get a new car or a new truck, those are the things that, you know, I usually look to fix first. Those small things that are probably going to make a big difference later on. I was kind of weird about this Pro Clip mount install for some reason. I was just excited about it. I couldn't wait for it to show up. I ended up getting a 10% off coupon to work. I'll put that down in the description so you guys can hopefully try that. You know, I don't know how long it's going to be good for, but worked for me. And, you know, it wasn't something that was advertised. I kind of just went looking for it and found it. It's really going to be nice to have that mount on the dash that is so secure. Honestly, very surprised that it was that secure, and it's just kind of like plastic clipped into two spots. So I think we can be bouncing down the road or the trail, and you know, that thing's not going to come off. It's not going to wiggle and start wearing that plastic down or mark it up. The floor mats, what can you say? They're floor mats. Like I said, for the price, I think that was a great deal. I'll put a link down there as well. Go out there and read the reviews yourself. Hopefully I'll be able to report back and tell you how they've been holding up. You know, maybe next time I will try the WeatherTech or Husky. They're like right there. They seem like on most of the reviews, they're kind of just like, you know, one or the other. They both have their pros and cons. Gator's not even mentioned, but here it is, worth a mentioning. Guys, thanks for watching my video. I know this was kind of just like, this guy's putting floor mats and a phone holder in his truck. But hopefully there's going to be a lot more coming. We really want to turn this truck into our main overland rig. If you want to follow those updates as they unfold, make sure you go down there and subscribe to the channel. I post a video pretty much every Thursday. Sometimes that changes up. If I have more footage to share, I'll put one out on like a Sunday or something. So stay tuned for all the updates. Got a couple different trucks that we're wheeling and building. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.